So I know you're probably asking, maybe not, broken brain. You have all these observations. Do you have any solutions? Well, I kind of do have an idea. I've been floating around in my brain for a while because it seems like the first problem is the biggest problem. And I thought about, what if you just eliminate the whole source of the problem and start over from a different way? I mean, why do we even do it a certain way versus a different way? And what I'm talking about is politics and how people don't feel like they're being represented, like they don't have a voice, like no one's listening to them. And when you do vote, it's like it doesn't matter because your vote ends up going to somebody else. So I'm thinking about this in like a technological way. The reason why we have a representative government is because it's impractical for all of us to vote. Well, at least it was. Now it's practical for all of us to vote. We have the ability to put in place the technology or the ability. I mean, almost everyone I know has a cell phone. Homeless people have cell phones. So there's a way that you can vote, and there's ways to authenticate it. I mean, we bank online, and I know some of you are like, but people get their identity stolen all the time. It's like, well, those people are dumb and naive. They go through life thinking it's 90 minutes of Mary Poppins. They don't realize how ceaselessly rapacious the world is, and they're taken advantage of. But other than that small segment of the population who arguably probably shouldn't be voting anyway, most people keep their stuff safe, and there's this authentication process that could go on, and we could vote on everything together. Everybody could sponsor a vote, and we can all vote on it, and if it meets a certain threshold, then it would go to a committee of people who we've all voted on to be there. And if it makes it out of committee, then we all get to look at it. We get to look at the deliberation process. So I know some of you might be saying, what about matters of national security and that stuff that the population can't know about because then our enemies will find out about it? Well, we can vote on people to handle that, just so long as everybody gets to vote. This whole idea of one person gets to decide so much for everyone else. You know what this leads to? It leads to ballot initiatives where the people overwhelmingly want something that their governor or the president or whoever just wants to ignore, and they're like, okay, we'll force a vote on it, and then they all voted in. And it should never have gone to that. They should have been represented by the people that they voted for. The majority voted for this guy or this woman, and they didn't do what they wanted them to do, so they created a ballot initiative to get it done anyway. I mean, how does that work? That's broken. And the leader, I mean, if they were doing a job for somebody, you would fire them. It's like, you're not doing what I want you to do. Can you do what I want you to do? And it's because we don't have a voice. So if we could figure out a way to give everyone a voice, there's a practical way for us to vote on things together. And I would like to see something like that happen, because I would love to see these corporate shills that we call politicians on both sides. I'd like to see them gone, because all they do is deflect from the people in the population who could actually do a good job as a politician, but they'll never get a chance because they don't do the song and the dance of the power class. They represent the people, and we can't have that in politics. Heaven forbid, the people should actually be represented in politics. Well, at least everybody. Some people are represented, but they're a very small group, and then everybody else can just, skip rocks. So that's one solution, and I have a few other solutions, and I also have a few other observations. So if you like what I'm saying here, if you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, share this. You don't even have to subscribe. I don't care if you subscribe or not. Just share. Get this message out there. Let people know that this is an option that could be on the table, but it's never going to be if no one knows about it. and no one thinks about it seriously, but we don't live in horse and wagon days. We live in mass communication, instant communication days. You know, when this Jacob Blake, when this man was shot in the back, everyone knew about it. Immediately, it was a firestorm. So there's the power for communication there. Everybody knows. Everyone can find out. Everyone can look, find answers for themselves. We just we need to stop letting people do for us what we can do for ourselves, because we can't trust the intermediary. We can't trust the gatekeepers any longer. I've spent my entire life working on making a life for myself, because that's what I'm told to do in society. It's like, you need to make a life for yourself. So while I've been focused on all of the work and investment that involves, I don't have time to negotiate all of this ridiculous political stuff that goes on. So I have to let somebody else do that for me by voting for a representative. Well, then they don't do anything that you need them to do. They make things worse. So I have to pay attention now. I have no choice. I can't just sit back and focus my time on my passion of being an artist. Now I have to be a voice for people who don't have it. Now I have to speak up and be my own politician and wage my own campaign in order to get this voice propagating through the citizenry, so that we can all unify and come together against this small number of people who want to make life hard for everybody. So I hope you'll give this solution some attention and share this video. Thanks for listening.